Am I live? I think I'm live now. Yeah, I am live. Okay, cool. Well, happy super self-care soulful Sunday. What's up, Angie? How you doing, goddess? Good to see you, kind of. Good to hear from you, I guess, because I can't really see you. But if you feel like joining, you can feel free to request and I'll be happy to add you on. No pressure, though. How's your weekend going? Good? Wonderful. Are you still juicing? I hope so. I am. Juicing, doing my yoga, a lot more yoga. Oh my God. I am this close to having my certification. That's good, goddess. How about exercise? I want to talk a little tiny bit about exercise a little bit today on the live. But the topic of this live, I'm just bringing a little bit of info for everyone as we move into the next week to help everybody kind of start off in the right mode of thinking to support fibroid shrinking. And yes, that rhymes, and no, I didn't do that on purpose. Not stopping every day. That's what's up. What kind of working out are you doing, Angie? Let me know. High intensity interval training, I hope. Speaking of that, I don't know if you're on YouTube, but follow Operation Fibroid Freedom on YouTube. I'm posting a new workout video this week for women with fibroids, especially optimized for women shrinking fibroids naturally. So I'm going to jump in. I know I didn't give anybody notice, so I'm just going to, as usual, power through my message. Walking is perfect. Walking is great. As long as it's better than nothing. I always come on here. What's up, the Goddess Shop? Welcome. I always come on here and forget to charge my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking. If anybody has any questions at any time, feel free to type them in the comments. But if you don't know about me, I am Cecily of Operation Fibroid Freedom. And then I also have the Womb Hang Clan. I successfully, naturally dissolved, shrunk uterine fibroids back in 2014. What's up, Siobhan Hawkins? So I did shrink fibroids naturally utilizing holistic methods, herbs and supplements, as well as exercise, self-care. I formulated that into a regimen that got me results. And at the end, it literally ended up with the fibroid that I had in the vaginal canal disconnecting and falling and was dangling by, I know this is TMI, but I just got to keep it 100. It was dangling by one artery and it literally got it snipped off walking into outpatient surgery in a doctor's office. So now my platform is geared toward just kind of being a beacon of light to let other goddesses know that natural fibroid elimination and natural womb wellness, correcting hormonal imbalance, basically any sort of a natural correction of infirmity, sickness, or disease is real, is possible, because it worked for me. So that being said, I just wanted to go in to give y'all a 3-point little quick micro class on how you can be thinking as you move throughout your week to support your body naturally shrinking fibroids. All right. Before I jump in, if y'all need any help, if y'all want any personal guidance on your natural fibroid elimination journey, if you don't even know what that's about, I do offer personal 1-hour consultations. I have a 90-day one-on-one coaching program. And then I also have a course available. It's called the Fibroid Freedom Toolkit, Herbs and Supplements to Shrink Fibroids Naturally. And in the course, you get all of the herbs and supplements that I personally use to become naturally fibroid free. And it also includes a free, exhaustive, hour-long consultation call to help you figure out where to best begin with all that info, because it's a lot of comprehensive information and it's kind of would help for you to kind of know where you can begin to incorporate it into your lifestyle, because we're all different and we're all in different parts of the globe. One of my clients right now is, I think she's in Eastern Europe. I'm not really good with my geography in some parts of the globe, but she's kind of far away and she doesn't have access to all of the herbs and supplements. So we have had to tweak and find sister types of herbs that relate to the types of herbs that I used. So again, that information is out there if you're interested, and I do have a $50 promo code off the course available if you want to get that now. But what I'm talking about today, you saw it in the title, maybe you did, but it's basically that fibroids and shrinking fibroids is mental, right? It's basically, it starts within. In order to see, before I saw the manifestation of the fibroids shrinking and being disconnected, expelled from my womb, I had to have achieved that within, with my mindset, in the spiritual part of my body, in the spirit realm first. So, and I like to mention that because I think that this is a part of the natural fibroid elimination journey, topic of conversation that's not fully addressed, because how can people concretely address it? That when you start talking about metaphysical, spiritual, there's no like uniform system to how things work, because we're talking about the metaphysics, but it is real, and it is definitely directly linked to our success when we talk about manifesting healing in the body, in the womb, for fibroids as well as with other ailments. So I got 3 ways to kind of help you as you move throughout your coming week, to help you start to change the scales for how they are kind of currently balanced, where they may be imbalanced as far as your hormones, your lifestyle. Right now, if you have fibroids or any sort of infertility, that's a signal that things are out of balance in some area of your life. And your job, if you're looking to shrink them naturally, if you know you don't want to have surgery, is to do the detective work, to go into your life, into all the areas that relate to growing fibroids, feeding fibroids, and start to correct them. Find substitutions, eliminate, audit those areas so that you can tip those scales back and bring them into balance. So right now we're talking about going within, or your mindset. So here's 3 tips for your mindset as you go into your week to help you start to tip the scales into you disconnecting from fibroids in the mental, in the spiritual. Because if you don't know, and you may already know, everything that we see here in the physical is a manifestation of what first began in the spiritual. Everything that we see, everything has vibration. Everything came out of a thought or from an area where there was a void previously to come out with something tangible that we can touch and feel, including uterine fibroids in a woman's womb. The woman's womb, in its divine whole working order, it starts off obviously fibroid free, hormones balanced, and the womb has an open space. There's an open area in there. Well, fibroids are a manifestation of something in that space where previously there was nothing. And we have to start questioning how something manifested, a physical form has manifested in a space where previously there was nothing. And we have to start analyzing how that occurred and realize that there is a key in that you are magical, and that just like a fibroid developed there without you consciously trying to do that, you also have the ability and the superpowers to consciously control that energy and get the fibroid to dissolve. It's your birthright. All you have to do is kind of take control and begin to take action in your life to support fibroids dissolving, as well as entitle yourself to knowing that you have the ability to reshape what's going on in your womb with your womb energy and everything that concerns you. And that starts with mindset. So hello to Miss Joy Christina. Greetings to Flana 3. So 3 tips for how you can begin to disconnect from fibroids in your mental, in your womb space, in the spiritual. Number 1, have you ever heard when goddesses, and I was guilty of this when I had fibroids, I'm sure. But once I learned the game and realized everything was vibrational based, everything is, again, based on what's going on in the non-physical, metaphysical, spiritual realm, that dictates what we're seeing in the physical. I checked this really quickly, and this is a really easy hack. Number 1 is stop saying I have fibroids. Stop saying I have fibroids. Stop saying my fibroids. And yes, it's going to sound weird and it's like kind of tricky to start. Well, how are you going to talk about it if you need to? Here's an example. I had a job back then. I'm a full-time entrepreneur now, but back then I was working and waiting tables at a restaurant, and I would have to do our little side work and stuff before I went home for the day. And I was having some really bad heavy bleeding symptoms. And what's up, D Mel D? I would say, well, I have fibroids. I'm going to tell the manager that I have fibroids, and, they're going to know that I got to go. I'm going to tell them I have these symptoms of heavy bleeding and I may have an accident and I'm going to have to go. I'm not going to be able to stick around and do my work, right? Once I realized the game and that everything was based on vibration, everything is based on the words that we speak, and that we can change the reality just by changing the words we're speaking. I didn't care who thought I was crazy. Guess what I started saying? I knew I needed to leave early from work. Instead of saying I have fibroids and I may have a bleeding accident, I would say, excuse me, I am healing myself of fibroids and I need to leave early. That's easy way to shape that, reshape that, and hack yourself. Hack having to say that you have fibroids. Anytime you have to refer to fibroids, don't say my fibroids, say the fibroids. Or if the fibroid is bothering you or the fibroid is pressing on your spine, say the fibroids are pushing on my spine. Don't say, well, my fibroids. Stop taking ownership. And from now on, you're forever healing yourself of fibroids. Anytime you have to refer to them in conversation, for people that are not aware, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you. You know that you are changing your reality. You know that the fibroids are attached to you. Lotus Flower 111 likes this. Thank you. You know the fibroids are attached to you. Therefore, the fibroids can hear you because they're part of you right now. So if they're part of you, guess what? They have to respond to your commands. Point blank, period. That's the hack. And once you realize that and you take time to prioritize yourself, forget about what anybody thinks about you, forget about feeling or looking crazy behind closed doors when you're in your room and you're speaking and saying your affirmations, which is something else I suggest you do. Start doing this stuff. It works. And I'm telling you, when I started to do these things is when up towards the end, because I struggled with fibroids for 2 years. The first year, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was trying all these herbs and supplements and doing research. The second year, I knew what I was doing. I started to see what worked. I got a little lazy here and there, and at one point, the fibroid grew and was pushing on my spine. You hear that I said the fibroid and not my fibroids. It's really that serious. You just have to retrain your mind to stop saying my. These little things stop that blockage. They remove that connection of the fibroids to your energy. You're starting to slowly, metaphysically do the fibroid surgery, but without even having to have it, which is why my platform is called Operation Fibroid Freedom, because I manifested freedom from uterine fibroids through no operation at all. That's what it is. That's the biggest secret, and that is where it began, because literally once I started doing these types of things, I was fibroid free in like maybe a weekend or two. And I had been working. And yes, I also had herbs and supplements going. I was also exercising. I've always been active. I had changed my diet. I was eating 75% plant-based, 75% of the time. And even some of the times I would take 3 weeks and say I'm only eating plant-based for 21 days. I'm not having any alcohol for 21 days. There are different ways that you can do it. But one of the main ways, again, is to hack the spiritual connection to fibroids. So you're going to start by stop saying my. You're not owning fibroids and you don't want them to stay. So you have to treat them like the stepchildren, okay? And by changing that, you're telling them, you're sending that intention that they have to go. That simple. And anytime you refer to them, I'm healing myself of fibroids, so can you show me where your supplements aisle is? Anytime you talk about the fibroids, I'm healing myself of fibroids, and I was looking for the organic food section. Always say that. All right, I'm going to stop saying that. I'm going to move on before my phone cuts out. Number 2, for ways to disconnect from fibroids in the spiritual to precede the physical dissolving and shrinking of fibroids is to do and perform actions and activities that are unconventional and out of the ordinary for you. What do I mean by that? I mean, and I love all of my goddesses that have personally connected with me, that have fibroids. I value everyone. But one thing you won't hear me do, and I'm grateful that I have a mother who is very supportive, but she's also doesn't let you be, what's the word? She doesn't coddle you when it comes to health. And when it comes to, I mentioned this birthright of having harmony in your body, not just the womb, but in life. So when I had fibroids, I told you I'd always been active, but I also dealt with really bad hemorrhaging, or menorrhagia is what they call it. So I could have stayed in my house and not exercised and said, well, I'm bleeding a lot and I need to take it easy because the fibroids don't like when I move around a lot, or I don't do this type of ab work because the fibroids are kind of, they cause a little nausea when I do it, and I had the worst bouts of nausea on my cycle back when I had fibroids. It was like, I've never had nausea like that, but I'm pretty sure it was because there were tumors pushing on my stomach or intestines or something. It was really weird. But I did not let that stop me or alter what I knew I was supposed to be doing. If you know exercise is something that you are supposed to be doing to have optimal health, to have vitality and quality of life and improve your longevity, boost your fertility. But you can't say, well, I would exercise, but I have fibroids and, I'm anemic, so I get a little bit tired. And you need to figure out a way to where you can support your body being able to get uncomfortable. You need to exercise. Why? Because you need to sweat. Sweating is detoxing through your skin, the biggest organ on your body. It's another channel of elimination. Shrinking fibroids naturally. Another hack is making sure you are eliminating regularly and consistently and properly through all your elimination channels. What does that mean? That would mean making sure you should be going to number 2. You should be going to the bathroom regularly, ideally after every meal. So we already know I know when goddesses come into my private coaching and they say they don't go every day, that's an easy fix to getting you to make some big strides when it comes to seeing results with shrinking or dissolving or reducing the size of the fibroids that may be currently in your womb. Another way is sweating. You gotta sweat. And I noticed a lot of goddesses don't want to sweat. They don't want to be uncomfortable. But you need to start shocking your body, particularly the midsection and this stomach area. You have to send a new message that the fibroids can't be in there getting comfortable and cozy, right? This is the kind of attitude that I had to switch my mindset into connecting with. I'm not here to baby my midsection and my stomach. There's something there that I know should not be there. And the more sedentary I am, the more low energy and just thinking down about my situation and not moving like I have vitality and moving like I'm fertile, the more they're going to feel inclined to stay. The more you get down on your in your sit-up position and do those abs, the more you get up and do some simple things like a jumping jack. One exercise move I did a lot when I had fibroids, and I still do, and it's tough, were burpees. Because burpees involve that motion where you kind of got to crunch down and get down on the floor and you got to crunch and stand back up. I knew the fibroids wouldn't like that. So you need to, again, do and perform actions and activities that are going to be uncomfortable for you, but even more uncomfortable for those fibroids. And they're going to be like, this ain't no womb we need to be trying to stay in, okay? The more you're doing that, you're sending energy there that it's time for new manifestations and new cells. The new cells there are going to have that message encoded in them that they're going to be fibroid free. They're not going to be the old cells that were there that were like, the hormones are imbalanced. We're part of a body that is not really moving too much. So, we're going to take it easy and we're being babied. No, you're going to make those cells and send energy, transmit energy to that part of your body that it's a new day. And you do other actions to support that, and it will manifest into you shrinking fibroids. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Figure out a way for you, because we're all different. Somebody else may already be doing, someone else could be a gymnast and she could have fibroids. So a burpee's probably not a big deal for her, right? But there's probably something else that she usually could be doing, but now she's not, because she kind of has this thing on her mind weighing her down, literally weighing you down, making you think you shouldn't be doing things. You need to baby yourself in your womb. I'm encouraging you, when it comes to exercise, that's not anywhere that you can kind of drop the ball. You can't phone it in on moving. To make fibroids get out of that womb, you need to move. They need to get uncomfortable, and you're going to be getting uncomfortable. You're going to be sweating. You're sending that message that you're a fit woman, a fit goddess, and the fibroids don't belong and won't want to stay in the womb of a fit goddess. Point blank, period. Point number 3 as for ways to disconnect from fibroids. And remember, we're doing this because in order to manifest shrinking fibroids, we start with the mind, we start within. Everything in the physical is preceded by whatever happens spiritually and in the mental. My third point for you is nurture the mind to womb connection. I don't know if you work out a lot or at all, but if you worked out a little bit, especially when you're doing things like trying to activate certain muscles in the body, when people have certain muscles that aren't as defined on one person's body as there are on another person's body. For example, glutes. Some people have bubble butts, beautiful, big, juicy butts, whatever. And some of us have small booties. I'm a member of the Little Booties Matter Club, so this is why this is a good example for me. But with the glutes, for example, when they talk about working out your glutes, if you're having issues making those glutes get puffy, right? Certain areas of the glutes, because there's multiple muscles that make up that muscle group, you have to activate. And they say when you're activating those muscles, there are moves that you do before you even get to doing the weightlifting for those glutes. You actually have to do little preliminary movements where in those movements, they tell you, make sure you are activating your mind to body connection, your mind to glute connection. So that means it's as simple as when you're performing those preliminary movements, you are actually thinking about the area on your behind, on your gluteus maximus that you are looking to actively plump up. You're sending the message. That's literally what personal trainers tell you to do. Activate your mind to glute connection. So I'm telling you that that's a real phenomenon, and that's your substituting or supporting, not substituting, you're supporting statistics if you want statistics or evidence that that's a real thing. Think about the mind to muscle connection that personal trainers tell you about. The same applies to your womb or any other area of your body. So when you are doing things and moving about your life, when you're working out, when you're having sex, when you're taking a bath, when you're lying in bed, when you're having your self-care, when you are meditating, if you're doing yoga, I don't care what it is. If you are walking up the street, anytime you want to, you can take the 5 minutes to exercise your mind to womb connection and activate that area, and also send messages, transmit clear messages and communication to an area of your body. So for example, if I'm lying in bed or if I'm lying in meditation and I'm doing some visualization, which I suggest that you do, visualizing myself with a fibroid-free womb, which is something I did often when I had fibroids. I'm suggesting you do the same. But when you're doing that, literally feel what it would feel like energetically to be fibroid-free. How would you feel? What would you be doing? Or feel what you would feel like, or what you're going to feel like when you are fibroid-free. What types of things will you be saying? Have your hands literally on your womb and take yourself into that scenario. Literally fake it until you make it, right? But make it real in the moment so that you can actually engage your 5 senses in the visualization technique or scenario that you have while you're doing this mind to womb exercise. lie there and think about how you are going to be describing the situation and the trials and tribulations you went through with fibroids to someone else. Now, when you're on the other side, fibroid free, think about how amazing you're going to feel when your periods go back to normal. Think about what you'll be doing that you hadn't been able to do since you had fibroids. Maybe you used to like to mountain climb and now you don't do it as much because you don't like to have to deal with the symptoms from fibroids. Or maybe, again, we talked about anemia. I used to deal with anemia really heavy and I would get really tired just walking up a hill. I'd be dating. I remember I was on a date once with my boyfriend at the time who passed away, rest his soul. But we were walking up a hill and I had to take a minute and breathe because the anemia would kick in really bad. But I also would think about one day I won't be anemic, and I'm not anemic anymore because I hacked that and figured it out naturally. And when I'm not, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to feel. And one day, imagine how great it would feel if I'm outside and I'm back on this mountain on a sunny day or on a fall day, and I am fibroid free and my periods are back to normal. Imagine how crisp the leaves are going to smell and how great and excited I'm going to feel knowing that I'm out here fibroid free, engaging your 5 senses. Imagine how, I'm going to put my hands on my womb and know there's no fibroids in there. Imagine having my favorite meal, knowing that I'm fibroid free, and I've also figured out how to maintain fibroid freedom and prevent them from returning, and I'm enjoying my favorite meal. Engage your 5 senses in your mind to womb scenario. Another thing about mind to womb, though, send the message. Even if you don't do the visualization, you could be at work, going up the stairs to the attic to grab something for some inventory for a shop. Let's say if you worked in a shop or something, and while you're going up those stairs, send that message that all of this, each time you take a step, you're sending a message to the fibroids that they have to go. Mind to womb, every step you take is contributing to shrinking, dissolving uterine fibroids. That's how we activate this mind to womb connection. Again, remember, your whole person, the physical body as well as spirit body, makes up you, but all of it has to respond to what you tell it to do, because you are the creator. You have the powers that have been manufactured as a replica of the Most High. You have that. And arguably, I argue that another reason fibroids grow is because sometimes we don't know our own true power or our true connection to source. So we have all of this energy, all of this amazing energy from, let's say, since fibroids are in the womb, some of us want children. Or some of us are not expressing our creative energy. So the energy's just there and doesn't really know what to do because we're not channeling it into our areas that are passionate to us. So the energy doesn't really get utilized, or these areas don't get fed. And then it ends up feeding into another part of us and growing a physical growth in there because we didn't express that creative energy into whatever we were supposed to have done. But either way, it's just energy waiting for you to tell it what to do, to take back control. And do little things like we talked about today, starting to take control of your womb power, putting on your crown as a goddess, and overstanding that you actually have a birthright. The Most High, the Creator, the universe, whatever you want to call it, source, wants to see you and wants you to be whole and fibroid free and harmonious and fertile, as well as all of the other wonderful desires that you have on your heart. It's just up to us to do the rest of the work here in the physical earth realm to bring all that and marry it together so that we can be at our best, rather than sitting back and being accepting of whatever is just happening. Well, I just got told I have fibroids, so now I can't shrink them. I got to have surgery. If I would have done that, if I would have been that way, that's what I would have said back then, because I was told I had to have surgery. But fibroids are a sign that you have an opportunity to exercise your goddesshood, to show and become and step through a portal and see the manifestation of a more powerful you, of your inner goddess coming out on the outside. That's really all it really is. And this is not a disrespect to anybody who has had fibroids and had surgery. It's tough out here. You know, there's a lot of distractions. You know, shrinking fibroids naturally was not easy. So if somebody else decided to have the surgery, I'm not knocking that. I am here to support goddesses on whatever part of the journey you're on. And guess what? The info that I share actually applies to goddesses who have had surgery as well, because it's the same info that you utilize to prevent them from returning, as well as the same info that you use to have babies and boost the fertility and manifest your creative energy and your sexual energy to help you realize and see your greatest passions manifested in your real world. It's all related. But that's all I had to say today, and I just wanted to thank y'all for joining me. Y'all have any questions for me? Thank you. Lotus Flower said that's where she's at. Awesome. Yes, love it. Yes, goddess, that's where you're at. I love it. Does that mean that you have succeeded with shrinking fibroids, or you just have succeeded with shifting your outlook, knowing that you have the power to exercise your birthright to start to shrink them? Let me know. But again, you know, you basically control, like I'm sitting right here doing this with my hands. This is the present moment. Now it's gone. So each moment is coming up that quick, right? So you can take an active role in reshaping your situation with uterine fibroids, as simple as changing your words and changing your outlook and adding little tips like we discussed today. You can change and manifest a smaller and smaller fibroid with each moment. Lotus Flower says anemia plus what you were talking about. I love it, goddess. Well, you can do it. I support you, because I'm telling you, I was there. I was anemic. And again, when I had fibroids, I would sit sometimes in my room and say, man, it would be so cool if one day I was fibroid free naturally and I could talk to other women about my story and help other women. So I'm just thankful to God that I'm able to sit here and talk about it. And I remember that I didn't know how I was going to do it back then. So that's a cool thing. But I'm saying that because it's not about, ooh, I did it. It's about, if I did it, you can do it. Because I had the craziest bleeding episodes. Like, it was ridiculous. And again, like I said, I got lazy the second year. And, you know, it was just kind of like, well, I already know kind of how to hack the symptoms, and I'm going to go back and eat this, whatever I shouldn't have been eating at that time. And then I look up, and one day it just came to where it was like, I can't bend forward. Why can't I bend forward? And it didn't dawn on me. It was because the fibroid had grown in size. And I remember going to the doctor, and they did the MRI, and they were like, this is the problem. They're like, it's this fibroid if you look right here. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot. Hello, I could have saved this money on this office visit. And they were like, you need to go ahead and call this OBGYN and set up your surgery immediately, because if you can't bend forward. And I knew there was some stuff I had been slacking on. I don't know why I was slacking, but I was kind of just babying the fibroid energy or whatever. Didn't want to try to push myself, but I knew at that moment I got to try some of this other stuff that I had looked up. And then I do talk about that in my course, the Fibroid Freedom Toolkit. So let me know if you're interested in that. It's $50 off, so it's $297 total. It's regular $347. But if you're interested in that, let me know. If you're interested in a private consultation on shrinking fibroids, if you have a specific problem, like you want to attack heavy bleeding, you already got other things in place, and you just want to stop certain symptoms while you're healing. If you want help with setting up your fibroid healing regimen, I also do womb Reiki, by the way. Do y'all know what womb Reiki is? I forgot to talk about that. And if my phone cuts off, I'm sorry. Send me a DM. But I had the most amazing womb Reiki session yesterday morning. I always love those sessions because basically womb Reiki is energy healing, utilizing the universal love force basically sending that healing energy to any area of the body. In this particular case, it's the womb. But we also examine the body chakras, and we also utilize that info and compare it with the womb chakras, because a lot of us don't know that there are chakras in the womb as well. So that's kind of a little bit with what we do with the womb Reiki, and it is something, obviously, in these times, people are staying at home, that we can do distance. You don't have to be in the same vicinity. So like the goddess I did womb Reiki on yesterday was, I think she's all the way in DC. And she immediately, I thought it was cool. I asked her how she was feeling after I did some of the energy work, and she's actually felt some of the energy work that I was performing, and it was a beautiful experience. But it allows for a lot of intuitive insight with you specifically, with imbalances that we would be finding when we look into the chakras, as well as we use that info to arm you with the knowledge for how to make lifestyle changes in order to support your body shrinking fibroids, as well as you succeeding and having success in your daily life, because we look at your whole body and lifestyle. And it also relates to fertility as well. So Angie would like to know more about my herbal teas. Yes, they're on my Etsy. So if you go to my bio and click shop I think it says shop Fibroid Freedom. I have 2 teas right now, and I have more teas coming. And I just added a new product, sea moss gel, into my shop, which I think is amazing. Sea moss gel is an amazing sea vegetable, which is something great to have for fibroids, for fertility, for your joints, for everything. Your skin, bags, sea moss gel all day. Sea moss gel, sea moss gel, sea moss gel, right? I just added sea moss gel into my shop. So check that out. And I have it with superfood medicinal flavors. So you can get like the moringa sea moss gel. You can get the Damiana for that sexual fertility, with black maca, which is a great adaptogen to help support and nourish those kidneys. Click the link in my bio and go check it out. I have the small 8-ounce bags because I mail my sea moss gel frozen with a cold pack. So you'll get that frozen with a cold pack. I don't put it in the mason jars because I like to freeze it and make sure you get it. But go check out my store by clicking the link in my bio. Now my teas, Angie, you got one is the Fibroid Freedom tea bags, and I got to hurry up before my phone dies. If it dies, just message me. The Fibroid Freedom tea bags, you get 20 tea bags. They last you about 2 to 3 weeks. But the tea bags are designed for a more womb-specific cleanse. They're better for goddesses who do cleanses regularly. If you cleanse your organs regularly, you're always juicing, and you've detoxed recently, I would say just get the tea bags. But if you're looking for a deeper, more comprehensive, multi-system cleanse, get my Fibroids tonic. The tonic is, again, a dry herb blend, but it has more herbs in it to support liver detoxification, your lymph detoxification, as well as a womb and reproductive cleanse, and a lot more. It cleanses the blood. So it's a more comprehensive, detailed cleanse if you do the Fibroids, and that comes in, I think, a monthly supply. If you want a smaller, easier, more gentle beginner, it's like a 2-week fibroid cleanse, and it's like 20 bags, and everything is hand blended and made by me. I'm an herbalist as well. So, and I also do personal herbal blends as well. So right now I just got a new shipment in of mullein, which is very useful with all the virus talk. Mullein is great to expel mucus from the lungs, specific to women and men and children and anybody really who is looking to protect and put up a hedge of protection from all of this stuff happening with the viruses, and protecting yourself during the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Let me know. But again, a lot of these things are personally blended because I believe in personally talking to you about your situation, because we all have a lot of different things going on that we are looking to nourish and support our bodies for. So I definitely would love to speak to you personally and then put together a blend for you. But I do have a lot of mucus expelling herbs in to protect people now coming into the fall. They're saying there's going to be another wave of people that have been exposed to this. And I know that in my community, unfortunately, I hate putting words to this, but we are starting to hear about, a lot more people in the communities out, not necessarily in the media, but the schools and everything that have been exposed. And you want to make sure you're doing everything to support your body being protected. And also, if you do, God forbid, come into contact with somebody, you already have your stuff in place. You just get on them herbs, and that stuff is not even going to be able to stick because you're expelling mucus. So, get at me for that. I got the elderberry, and I have a few other herbs that I'll be blending in my own immune system and antiviral blend too. But I got it all. I do blends for hypertension, blood sugar, just fertility, which fertility is totally different. And when you're pregnant, it's also very, very specific. We have to do something very gentle. There's not too many things pregnant women can take. But Rocio in Chile, how you doing, goddess? I'm going to go. If y'all have anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future, please follow this Instagram and send me a message and let me know what that is. And I'll be happy to set up a micro class on that in the future. And I will talk to y'all soon. I'm sending y'all peace, womb wellness, and lots of abundance. All right. Love you. Talk to you soon.